Morning, everybody. Grammy, no. Hey, my tap water. I'm sorry I had to do that, but you can't drink the tap water. They put chemicals in. Look at that guy. Don't drink the water. They put something in it to make you forget. Try this artisanal water. It's locally sourced and fortified with vitamins and minerals. Hey everyone, I'm Graham with Hubble. Today we're going to be checking out something that we're all familiar with. Water. Which is better, bottle or tap? For more content like this, subscribe to the channel.
There is a water emergency.
At least 12 people died, 80 others were sickened.
Flint's tap water was laced with dangerous levels of lead.
Hazardous waste levels of lead coming out of her tap water.
In 2014, in Flint, Michigan, there was a crisis in the water supply. There was so much lead in the water that residents were getting poisoned. In general, this has made us more and more skeptical of tap water. In fact, in the United States, each person drinks approximately 45 gallons, or 114 liters of bottled water per year. Compare that to 1999 when it was just 16 gallons, or just over 61 liters. We all know that we shouldn't be using plastic forever, but that doesn't stop us from drinking bottled water every day. But is it really better for us? Okay, disclaimer. We know that we are lucky enough to live in one of the countries with the cleanest tap water in the world. We are going to dispel some myths about tap water in the US and in Europe. Of course, we recognize that not everyone has access to clean drinking water. It's estimated that in the US, about 60 million people avoided drinking tap water based on a 2018 study. But the tap water there is safe virtually everywhere, yet they have the highest total consumption of bottled water in the world. Why? Well, I believe Alex Jones put it best when he so passionately stated,
"I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay. Do you understand that?"
Is it just me or does that never get old? So let's compare bottled water versus tap water. You might think that drinking water from a bottle is safer than that from the tap, just because it's more nutrient rich with minerals and comes from springs deep in the Alps or from Fiji. Minerals. But that is not the case. In most Western countries, tap water is actually safer than bottled. In America, the FDA regulates bottled water while tap water is regulated by the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency. The EPA's regulations for tap water are a lot more strict than bottled water. The EPA sets a limit for how much contamination can be in tap water and requires water suppliers to send out a quality report to both government and residents. Can I help you?
Yes, hello, sir. I'm with the EPA. I was wondering if I might ask you a couple questions about your drinking water.
Huh.
Yes, I'm wondering if there has been any strange behavior from the wildlife, namely frogs.
Yeah, now that you mention it, the frog's been acting pretty gay. Currently, the EPA has set legal limits on over 90 contaminants, including heavy metals like lead and microbes like E. coli, that require different kinds of filtration or trace amounts of chemicals like chlorine to kill. I'd personally take chlorine over E. coli any day. Beverage companies, on the other hand, don't have to disclose as much information as municipal water utilities because of gaps in federal authority. Corporate freedom, man. The problem is that the FDA regulates bottled water as a food and cannot, by law, require laboratory testing or reporting of test results, even if violations of prescribed standards are found.
Dr. Science, I need those tests now.
Getting right on it. These things take time. Also, companies aren't even required to disclose the source of their water, let alone the treatment processes or even the contaminant tests. There aren't even as many regulations for specific contaminants, and the inspection of bottled water plants only happen once every few years. There are even brands of bottled water that just sell purified, filtered tap water. Here you go. That'll be $150. Thank you. So, tap water is more strongly regulated than bottled water regarding harmful contaminants. Now, I know what you're thinking. Isn't there chlorine and fluoride in the water, and isn't that unhealthy? One, yes. In large doses, it's unhealthy. So the EPA regulates the amounts to be so small as to not affect us. And two, yeah, but most of us can't be bothered to brush our teeth twice a day. I know I can't. So drinking tap water can also protect against cavities. So, to summarize, the CDC, the Center of Disease Control and Prevention, says drinking water supplies in the United States are among the safest in the world. One time in college, a Greenpeace person, you know the ones on the street trying to get money out of broke college kids, asked me if I had ever heard of the environment. So I would like to use this next chapter to prove to this person that yes, I have in fact heard of the environment. One study says that bottled water takes between 11 to 90 times more energy to produce than tap water. Think about it. First, the bottle has to be made out of petroleum, then the factory has to bottle that water, and then it gets shipped out across the state or the country or across the ocean before finally being taken by truck to the market or shop where it's sold, and is usually refrigerated. This all costs about 76 million barrels of oil a year, which could fuel 4.3 million cars in the same time frame. On top of this, more than 35 billion bottles are thrown away each year in the US, and plastics need more than 1,000 years to decompose. Besides, chemicals from the plastic bottle can leach into the water over time. So even if you are recycling your bottles or reusing them, that doesn't really lower the carbon emissions or negate the potential health risks. Companies pay so little for water that you're essentially paying for the production and transportation of plastic. The water itself doesn't even factor into the cost for the company. And a gallon of bottled water costs about $1.50, while tap costs a fraction of a cent and is more sustainable. If you don't like the taste of tap water, then filter it or put some lemon or cucumber in it like a fancy pants.
I like to spice my water up with a touch of cucumber.
If I may make a recommendation, I would suggest one of those big old insulated metal bottles. Your water will stay cold for so long. So, in most, if not all ways, tap water is superior to bottled water. It's cleaner, better regulated, and much more sustainable. Of course, if you live in a place without access to clean drinking water, resorting to bottled water might be your only course of action, and I don't mean to criticize that by any means. But for those of us where the tap water is clean and free-flowing, we gotta get out of this bottled water habit. If you're concerned about your tap water, then look it up online. There are plenty of resources where you can input your postal code or something and get a quick reading of the quality of the water, and if it's not up to par, then maybe get a filter of some sort. This is especially important if you're pregnant, elderly, have children, or a weakened immune system. A good water filtration system can turn even the most dangerous water into safe drinking water. So, get rid of this bottle and drink from the tap. This is actually from the tap. It's not, it's unopened. Thanks for watching. Give us a like if you love tap water, and I guess a dislike if you prefer bottled. Subscribe for more and give us the lowdown on the quality of tap water where you are, down below. See you next week.
Morning, Dr. Science. Had another big weekend, eh? You look horrible.
As always, you know how weekends are.